Yeah, I totally understand. Your PCs might not be working as fast as how they used to work in the times you bought them. As the time progresses, they might have slowed down or might not have been able to load applications as fast as how they used to be. There seems to be some hiccup and you don't know what exactly that is causing that, and you might be wondering to change your PC to a new one or even updating the RAM. So before doing that, I suggest you to watch this video and only after that come to a conclusion whether or not to buy a new PC or upgrade the existing one. Let's get on to it. This is TechTube. So on your taskbar, click on the task manager and click on, and here you'll be able to see all the services that are currently running on your system. You can end the task here if you found that the application is unnecessarily running in the background. And if you click on the startup tab, you'll be able to see all the applications that are running from the background since your system started up. So if you remove the load from here, click on disable button, you'll be able to disable the application from starting up when your PC loads up. And under the services section, you'll be able to see additional information of all the services that are currently running on your system. So the next tip is, on your search bar, search for services, and you'll be able to see this window. Here the Windows updates all the current services that are currently running on system. If you double tap on them, you'll be able to either disable them for entirety of the time, or you can manually stop them for the current session to increase performance of your system. Do note that there are some services which are essential for the system, so if you disable them, your system might not start up. And the next step is go to your PC and in properties, advanced system settings, under that settings of performance, and here you'll be able to see all the options. By default it should be in adjust for best appearance. You can change that to adjust for best performance so that your PC will be at its peak performance, or you can customize your settings. And if you click the advanced tab, you'll be able to see the paging files. So ideally there should be paging file allotted for all the PCs. So if it's not allocated, you can enable them just like this. Default paging size should be double of your RAM. So say if you have 4 GBs of RAM, it needs to be at least 8, or it can even be the same as RAM itself. Now the next tip is defragmentation. So what this does is, it actually removes the errors that might have occurred when a system is writing data onto your hard drives. So if you defragment this, your system will be getting an instant boost. So ideally this should be done every week or so. It also depends upon the fragmentation size. So currently I have system fragmentation size of 3%, which is not bad, but if it's above 15% or so, your system might experience some lag in between. And the next step is quite straightforward. You don't have to have a lot of programs installed on your PC. Only the programs that you use regularly or you might use every month or so needs to be on your system. So you just have to uninstall those programs so as to recover more space as well as system performance. And do note that all the antivirus programs are not as effective as you might think. The default Windows Security or Windows Defender is the only program you ever need. Just keep that updated, because other security softwares would force your system to use more memory in the background, thereby decreasing the system performance. So make sure the Defender, you check for viruses regularly and remove viruses. That's the next step. Remove all the viruses from your system. So scan regularly or at least once a month to keep your performance at optimal levels. And here you can actually scan the system. A full scan is recommended. Do this at least once a month to boost your performance. Now keeping your drivers updated is the next step. You'll have to update Windows at least once a week to keep all the drivers installed and updated so that they don't crash or they don't suck up a lot of memory. And the next step is you should ideally be only having 2 drives, 2 partitions. So anything more than that can cause a system lag. And in here you can click on disk cleanup, which would actually remove all the unnecessary files or fragments which might have got accumulated over time, which are actually not needed and which can cause system lag. The process is pretty straightforward. It will take you about 10 minutes or so maximum, and you can instantly feel the difference. And the next step is under this Tools tab, you should be able to click the check button. So this, what it does is it actually checks for errors in the drives or partitions and cleans them up to smooth up the entire system performance. The process would take about 5 minutes, and the next step is pretty easy. On your taskbar, you'll be able to see the battery icon. Click on that and ensure it's on maximum performance. So if you slide the slider all the way to the left side, it will be adjusted for maximum battery, so that performance will be sacrificed. Now do note that when you're actually tweaking the performance bar of the PC, the more the performance, the less the battery life. So keep that in mind. And the next step is different, because it will need a third-party application to be installed on your system. So what these applications does is that they would clean the registry of the system. A registry is like a part of the system where the system keeps a log of all the locations of files and folders for easy mapping, so that it can pinpoint wherever the file is at an instant. So suppose if we install a new application, the data can get messed up in the hard drives. So what this software does is that it will scan for those changes, issues, and fixes them. So there are a lot of third-party applications right there, and I'm currently using Glary utilities. So if you can launch the application, you'll be able to see that there is a straightforward button to scan for issues. Click on that, and it will usually take about 15 to 30 minutes, and there is an option to automatically repair the system and even to shut down. So you don't have to worry about that. I recommend doing this once every week or so. And there's also another option in this software itself. It's under the Advanced tab under Optimize and Improve. You can actually defrag the registry. It is almost same as defragging the disk drives as we have done before, but this one is for the registry itself. You can expect a great deal of performance. So apart from all those methods that I've shown just now, there are 2 additional ways which you can use to boost up the performance even further. The first one is a little bit expensive. It's of actually replacing your hard disk with an SSD. So what is SSD? Solid state drive. That is actually a replacement for your hard disk. Has a higher read-write rate compared to your original hard disk drive. So hard disk drive is what's inside your PC that stores data. So if you can replace that lesser efficient or lesser speedy drive or space storage with a more efficient way of storing, which is SSD, you'll be able to boost the performance of your PC. The application would start to load a little faster up, and you can improve the transfer speeds of your data from and to your PC. And if all those methods that I've shown just now doesn't work, the only final thing that you can do is to reinstall your whole PC software. So that is a bit tedious process, and that might not be easily available or easily doable by the normal people. It's a bit complicated and it can take a lot of time, and you can potentially lose your data as well, but only resort to that if you have an extremely slow PC. So in this video, the software that I have used is a third-party software. It's a Glary Utilities. I'll be linking the software to the description box of this video. Kindly check that out if you really like the software. And that's all it for this video. I hope you found this video to be useful. If you found that, so please share this video with all your friends, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.